Good morning, and welcome to our Philly Forward Forum, Real Estate as a Portal to Change, a strategy to close the racial wealth gap in Philadelphia by connecting capital to transformative real estate development. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. For those who are with us for the December 17th Philly Forward Forum, welcome back. I'm Sandra Dungee Glenn, founding partner of the Collective and CEO of the Collective Network. I want to thank our partners at 17 Asset Management, John Morris, Heather McGee, Fiona Castro, and the entire 17 AM team for continuing to lead these convenings. John, when you brought over 1,200 people together last May, you put a national spotlight on the need to bring catalytic capital to Philadelphia. You uncovered the need to rethink and rebuild the way capital flows to solve social and economic problems. You saw that Philadelphia needs scalable investments to tackle the big challenges we face, that government doesn't have the capacity to do it alone, and that private capital is a critical part of the solution. And you saw from an outside perspective what the collective saw on the ground, that real estate is a powerful tool for moving wealth into communities that have been neglected and overlooked. It's that common vision that has created such a beautiful partnership between 17 AM and the Collective. So on behalf of my partners, Taib Smith and Stephen Sanders, and our members, we are pleased and proud to co-sponsor today's event with you. Today, you'll be learning more about the Collective and our approach to transforming Philadelphia. We are a group of experienced real estate developers, investment professionals, and public policy experts who came together in November of 2019. The Collective is Black-owned, operated, and led. We are committed to creating and growing real estate assets that produce attractive returns while increasing ownership and generating wealth within the Black community and for neighborhoods victimized by systemic racism. The Collective is a response to the history that, as reported by the National Trust, has left Black neighborhoods with higher rates of demolition, undervalued housing, underfunded services, and reduced access to financing. The history includes federal housing policies that created the redlining map. As recent as 2016, Black applicants in Philadelphia were 2.7 times more likely to be denied conventional mortgages than white applicants. The history includes zoning ordinances that excluded Black residents from white neighborhoods while citing toxic dumps and incinerators in ours, leaving our neighbors in Southwest Philadelphia with 2 Superfund sites. The history includes an urban renewal policy that was more successful at dismantling Black neighborhoods than renewing them. It's estimated that up to 10,000 people were removed from a stable West Philadelphia neighborhood, the Black Bottom, to make way for University City. The history includes federal highway construction that cut through communities and displaced 1 million people across the country. Philadelphia columnist Will Bunch recently wrote about Nicetown, where 300 homes were demolished to make way for the Roosevelt Expressway. Nicetown never fully recovered. Redlining, zoning, urban renewal, highway construction were intentional policies that devalued Black neighborhoods, undermined Black property ownership, and diminished Black wealth, all major contributors to the racial wealth gap. Today, that wealth gap shows up as a 75% homeownership rate for Philadelphia's white households compared to 49% for Black households. 75% of adults have bachelor's degrees in our higher income neighborhoods compared to less than 25% of adults in parts of West, Southwest, and North Philadelphia. And last spring, the pandemic closed 41% of Black businesses compared to 17% of white businesses. In many ways, Philadelphia is thriving. The real estate industry is thriving. But to date, that prosperity isn't benefiting Black businesses, neighborhoods, or residents. The Collective is disrupting this tale of 2 Philadelphias. We've brought together stakeholders with the expertise, the relationships, and the power to attract investors while still protecting residents and cultivating vibrant, thriving neighborhoods. We've launched 2 separate entities with complementary missions. The Collective Network, a registered public benefit corporation, is the convener and advocate for a pipeline of Black real estate developers who you'll be meeting later today. Our developers have the experience and skills to work across Philadelphia's real estate landscape. However, each of them has decided to focus on the neighborhoods where they're needed most. Taken together, they have a pipeline of over $300 million in projects covering 4.1 million square feet and positively impacting at least 10 neighborhoods. Our second entity, the Collective Investment Group, a registered investment manager, is raising the capital and conducting the rigorous due diligence to identify projects that will deliver both financial returns and community benefits to Philadelphia neighborhoods. Taken together, the Collective Network and the Collective Investment Group have the cultural competency, the real estate experience, and the investment knowledge to truly use real estate as a portal to change and improve the lives and life chances of thousands of Philadelphians. The collective is ready and willing to do our part to move Philly forward. We hope you'll join us and our partners at 17 Asset Management. And John, I look forward to spending the day with you and with everyone as we take on this mission.
Sandra, thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership with a collective, and including Stephen Sanders and Ty Smith. We have had such a rich learning experience in working with you and learning about Philadelphia and this opportunity. As Sandra mentioned, I'm CEO of 17 Asset Management, and we're so proud to be working with a collective as a strategic partner and with them and to co-host this event to all of you all today. We'd also like to thank our lead sponsors, Reed Smith, SoCap, Thomas Jefferson University, the Reinvestment Fund, Forbes, The Culture, Impact PHL, Mission Investors Exchange, and of course, PIDC, who are all so much more than supporting today's event, but are thought partners with us along this journey. Our firm at 17 is predicated on the belief that capital markets is the most powerful tool to change, most powerful tool of change in the world for both returns and society. We believe that in using that most powerful tool, it must be designed to make our world a better place. That's why we use the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030 as a way of holding ourselves accountable. Those are a set of goals that all countries and largest companies in the world have committed to for 2030. Our name, 17 Asset Management, comes from the 17th SDG goal, which is partnership. Our methods assume we're moving toward a better form of capitalism. We call that stakeholder capitalism, where investment activity is designed through the engagement of all relevant stakeholders. This is why we're so excited about today as a collective, is a result of in-depth collaboration of stakeholders to get us all to this point. To benefit from that change in the capital markets, you need to be included. Lack of inclusivity leaves countries, regions, people behind, and then it takes more investment to catch up later. After 40 years of experience in financial services, I thought I had obtained a lot of wisdom. I thought I knew a lot. But this year has changed everything. I've learned personally more this year than I believe in any year of my adult life. And I believe I'm not alone. And I know that learning can be painful. ignorance is a far easier place to live, as it just perpetuates itself and doesn't take any effort. This year, we went into Philadelphia in a hurry because of COVID-19. We started off by calling it a new normal initiative, thinking, how do we get back to new normal so Philadelphia can prosper? And in a stakeholder approach and in an open forum, we learned that COVID-19, while absolutely terrible and absolutely a pandemic that we have never experienced in our lifetime, but the reality of Philadelphia is the history of racism, the structural impediments that has stopped capital going into Philadelphia, into the greatest investment that exists, which is 45% of Philadelphia, which is Black Philadelphia. The opportunity for Philadelphia to be one of the greatest cities in the world is the growth and the inclusion of its people that live there and that have brought the culture and the richness and the grit and the determination of what Philly is known for. Investment into Philly is the opportunity. So in that learning that started this year for me, to try to understand that lack of inclusion that started as early as the disaster of Freedmen's Bank, the exclusion of Black Americans in the Homestead Act, which was the greatest wealth creator in America, the separation that the Jim Crow laws created, the atrocities of the convict lease system, the then missing again with the GI Bill, and as well as in the next great real estate expansion after World War II, the lack of inclusion in that wealth boom in the suburbs and the effect of redlining. I spent a career learning about the capital markets. I love the capital markets but I also have learned to realize the capital markets are a mirror of society. They don't act on their own. They act as a mirror of the values and ethics of our society. And I believe in the learning that I've experienced, the investment opportunity that we at 17, and I really appreciate Sandra's compliments that we saw, but we didn't see it. We just listened. We listened to the 1,000 people, and we listened to the many design sessions, and we listened to voices that may not be listened to as much in the past, because design thinking means you listen to everyone equally. And you understand who is affected and who are the users, the user interface of what the goal is to actually create innovations. And through that process, it became really obvious. Also, our ignorance became really obvious, which I am grateful for what the collective, what Philadelphia has brought to myself personally, but also I don't think my learning is I'm alone. I know that's not the case. By the large number of commitments that the largest financial firms in the world, the largest corporations, nonprofits, and their efforts have made to to reduce or eradicate the racial wealth gap and to create fair and just inclusion is staggering. There is a desire. I would say that means there is a desire to learn. But I learn by doing. I'm not an academic. And I think most people in business learn by doing. And therefore, in the world of capital markets, in order to actually take action on what society is learning and to make the next stage of capitalism the best time for capitalism ever, because there has been a call for action of society for change. The capital markets must reflect that. But to do that, in order to meet the need of investors, to meet the demand of investors' constituents, like their underlying clients, who are asking them, how can we participate in this change? We don't know how. Products need to be designed to meet people where they are, to both allow them to learn by doing and to take action to correct things that, as Americans, many of us may feel we might have lived in a period of hypocrisy that, either knowing or unknowing, we have participated in. I'm so excited about the future and looking for opportunities to make that change. When we met the collective and we heard their proposition, we heard what they were as a group and what they were trying to do. It was a perfect match to some of that new learning. And they were kind enough to bring us deeper into a further, I feel, authentic level of knowledge to design vehicles that would get equity capital to Black developers with lived experience in beautiful neighborhoods of Philadelphia that are underinvested and have issues of risk and concern because of underinvestment and because of whatever real estate investment has come into them in the past at scale has usually been from outsiders that don't have the lived experience, looking to create healthier and wealthier neighborhoods of the people from those neighborhoods. So to be involved with a Black-owned, Black-led investment company that is investing in communities that have historically been underinvested, because we know the government can't do this alone. There's no way. It's got to come from private investment. And so today, we are looking forward to you hearing of the different elements. You're going to see the underlying portfolio pieces, the incredible developers and what drives them. Be able to assess, are they authentic? Are they actually going to make a bigger difference in their communities than just buying a property and turning it into something that is modern for others to move in and raise the tax base and push other people into another neighborhood? Or to create wealth for the whole neighborhood, to create health for the whole neighborhood. So you'll also hear from the investment team, who is looking to do the due diligence on these, to pick the way a number of those projects come together to create an investment portfolio that reduces risk by diversification and having a standard of care, of due diligence. And you'll also hear about the logic behind the social metrics that will hold the social change, the investment vehicle, accountable and measurable to showing that change. You'll hear the vision and the commitment of that vision from Sandra and Stephen and Ty. And you'll hear next from 3 evolved institutional investors who are committed to putting their dollars into change, into the African American community, into racial justice as a commitment they have, and they see return opportunities. We believe today will be something that for those like me who have been in a big learning process will help you along that to see how you can participate in a better world, in a just world. It should show others who have known this all along. I hope it shows a little bit of relief that this is occurring, that this is potentially the hope that we all have. The Philadelphia is leading. It's led through votes. It's led to activism. It's led by so many of the great organizations in Philly. But for Philly to prosper, it needs successes of efforts like the collective. It needs investment beyond the walls of both Phillies that exist. It needs investment from the West Coast, from New York, from pension funds, from national foundations. And why would they not make those investments? We believe that through today, as you all participate and listen to the arc of the day, I hope you will have that same response. Why would they not make such investments? And it's our job, together with a collective, to design the vehicle so it fits the need of their investors and their social expectations. So once again, we are so grateful to the vision and the leadership, the Sandra and Stephen, Taib, and the partnership they have created with the developers to hopefully be example for many others, but also for more than just the money to be raised here, but for many more fundings to come after this. And with that, we're really excited about the next session, which will begin in a few minutes by 3 leading institutional investors, and to hear from them what they're looking for. And I promise you, the collective in 17 will be listening very hard, because we are looking for them and others like them to make commitments along with the same passion that the collective has to elevating Philly to its potential. Sandra, thank you so much. And
my pleasure, John.
And with that, we will wait for the next session to begin in a few minutes.
See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.